Good evening, everybody. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Holcomb from the 11 Alive Weather Impact Team. We're doing this long-form update here. We know that many of you are hungry for weather information as we're dealing with not only the cold, but we're also dealing with the potential for some snow to move into not all of our area, but at least part of our area here during the day on Tuesday. So we want to break down everything that we're expecting as we go through the next 24 hours. And as you know, we have a weather impact alert that is in effect for our area. This is going to be in effect through the day here. On tomorrow, it's actually in effect now. It'll stay in effect through Wednesday morning, and that's due to mainly the cold temperatures that we're going to be dealing with out there. We are also going to be watching not only the cold air in our area, but also that moisture that's going to be moving in, and that will give us the chance for some snow that'll be impacting part of our area. We're going to break that down for you coming up in just a little bit as well. So this is what you need to do. I hope you have already protected your pipes because we have already been dealing with freezing temperatures since late yesterday afternoon and into the evening. Today, we only made it up to 32 degrees, so we didn't even get above the freezing point. We're going to see additional hours through tomorrow afternoon, when once again, we expect to get up to only about 32 degrees, and we may not get above freezing until Wednesday. And that kind of long duration freeze is the kind of freeze that can cause issues with pipes. So again, I hope you've already protected your pipes. If you haven't, take some of those precautions to make sure that water keeps flowing through them. Let them drip during the overnight hours and really during the day as well. And if you can, cover up your outside faucets to kind of give them some extra insulation because we don't want to see issues happening like what happened a couple of years ago near Christmas when we had all the pipes that were freezing here in our area. Here's a look at what we're watching on satellite and radar. Nothing really going on out there right now. We have clear skies. Not only are we not seeing any rain showing up on radar, but we also don't have any clouds in our area either. It's clear over metro Atlanta and North Georgia. And the system that we're watching that's going to bring us the moisture still doesn't really look that impressive in South Texas right now. This is this area that's going to be developing, moving along the Gulf of Mexico. And of course, as we've been telling you, that track of that low, and whether it goes a little more north or a little more to the south, is going to be the big determining factor on whether or not we are going to see snow here in our area. So here's a look at what we're watching with the alerts. Earlier, really yesterday, and then earlier this morning with Chesley, we were telling you, and even at the 11 o'clock midday show today, we were telling you about the winter storm watch that was in effect. That has been upgraded now to a winter weather advisory. That's what we have in parts of Metro Atlanta and areas to the south, and then around Macon and southward is where we have a winter storm warning that's in effect. So let's focus on this first, the winter weather advisory. This includes these areas of Metro Atlanta, northward here. In fact, the northern edges of this would be over in Haralson County, Paulding County, Cobb County, Fulton, Forsyth, Hall and Banks County. Then it goes on over near the Athens area toward Oglethorpe County as well. And then everything to the south of that, including counties south of I-20, all of this in purple, this is where we have the winter weather advisory in effect. This means that conditions are likely that we could see some light accumulating snow that could cause some travel issues. Now the winter storm warning, what you see there in the pinkish or fuchsia color there, that's really from near the Columbus area toward Macon, just to the south of Augusta, on down to the south, including Savannah, the entire Georgia coast, Valdosta and Waycross over toward Albany. All of that area is where there is a higher chance that we would see some snow, including 2+ inches of snow in some spots, and any snow-covered roads that are not treated could become very slick. So really higher chances in middle Georgia and South Georgia that we could see some accumulating snow, while in North Georgia, far north Georgia in the mountains where we usually have the winter weather advisories or winter storm warnings, well, that area of North Georgia doesn't even have anything because we don't think that the moisture is actually going to make it up into that area. So I want to show you here what we're watching with the hand-drawn maps of what we think is going to happen here for our area. Now, we've been showing you a lot of different computer models showing where we could see snow moving in. And the models are not always in agreement. And the tricky part with this system is just how far north the snow line is going to go. And that'll determine who gets snow and who gets nothing at all. So it's our job as meteorologists to look at all of those models, and then we use those as guidance, and then we have this hand-drawn map of what we think is going to happen. Now, we are hedging for the potential that maybe on the north side, we could see up to an inch. Now, when I say up to an inch, that doesn't mean everybody's going to get an inch. That means that would be the most that you have. I really think that any totals north of Atlanta would be on the lower end. It could just be a dusting. And if that trend of the leading edge stays to the south, then we could get nothing at all in Atlanta and northward. Those are the real possibilities here. And I know that's very frustrating for the decision makers. I've had some schools contact me on the north side saying, hey, you know, what should we do? And I'm not going to make that decision for them, but I just give them guidance on what we know. So it's really hard to give, to know exactly what to do with this. We're kind of wait and see on the north side. We're feeling a little more confident here from Atlanta southward and over to the east that we could see a ½ inch to maybe up to 2 inches. I think any of those 2-inch totals will be more on the southern part of this. And then south of that, that's where we could see 1 to maybe even some areas that could see 3 inches of snow. Again, that's mainly there on the south side. So the higher snow totals are possible more to the south of us. And then again, far north Georgia, you may not even see any snow out there at all. So it's really a tricky forecast here. Now let's talk about these temperatures right now, because we are very cold. And it's going to remain very cold overnight. We're seeing temperatures right now. These are not wind chills. These are the actual temperatures at 25 degrees here, 27 in Athens, 20 in Canton, already teens right now in Blairsville. That's not the wind chill. These are the actual temperatures. Now, factor in that wind, and it feels like it's 13 here in Atlanta, 14 in Duluth. It feels like it's 8 in Canton. So that just goes to show you, you really need to bundle up. Make sure your pets are inside. This is not a night. Last night wasn't a night to leave your pets outside. This is not a night either. Really all week long, you need to have a warm place for your pets because it is going to be cold all week long. So let's talk about now what we're going to be watching with our forecast track with these temperatures. By tonight, we're expecting those 20s still here with us. And then Tuesday afternoon, we'll get up to around 32 to 33 degrees. So just at or a little bit above freezing for just a brief period. That's not going to thaw things out that much. We just go up above, maybe to that freezing marker, up above it for just a really small amount of time. And then going into Wednesday morning, we're talking about low temperatures back to the teens at about 17 degrees here in town, 15 in Duluth, 5 for a low in Blairsville, and 14 for low in Peachtree City. How about Carrollton with a low of 12 degrees for your Wednesday morning? And then Wednesday, we start warming up a little bit more. Still below freezing, most likely around lunchtime, but in the afternoon on Wednesday, we do think that we will get above freezing for a brief period. So here is the day planner where you can see what we're watching with that cold air that's going to be in place during the day tomorrow. And with that cold air in place, we are going to see those weather conditions that are really going to be changing through the day with the clouds increasing, and the timing of the snow coming in looks like it would be more of an afternoon thing. So if you're wondering about waking up tomorrow morning and seeing snow on the ground, no, you're not going to see snow on the ground in the morning, and it's going to be in the afternoon hours when we would have the chances more likely to see some of those flurries, if they even make it to Metro Atlanta at all. So it's going to be really cold in the morning, 22 to start, 23 at 9, 27 at 11, maybe getting up to freezing or maybe a degree above freezing for the middle of the afternoon. But notice here the timeline of what we've got here with that snow, mainly clouds in the morning. If the moisture makes it here into the afternoon hours, it is those afternoon hours. We're thinking after lunch when we see that potential for any snow to start here. 30% chance at 3 o'clock, 40% chance at 5 o'clock, and then anything that moves through would be moving through pretty quickly, so we don't really think we would see a lot of that coming through, but that's the timeline here of what we're watching with that potential snow that would be moving through. So here is the forecast track. We are dry out there now. We're going to be dry at 10 o'clock tonight. I want you to be able to see the timeline right here. I'll move over on this side so you can see here the clouds that are moving in early tomorrow morning. This is not snow. The white that you see here is not snow. That is the cloud cover that we're talking about. But then lunchtime, still mainly cloudy, mainly cold, still breezy out there. It's after lunch and into the afternoon where we see this moisture beginning to move up from the south. And notice here, this model is keeping everything south of Atlanta, meaning the south side would have that better chance for some snow, maybe just a few flurries here, maybe up toward the Athens area, seeing some of the snow moving in for the middle of the afternoon. But this is just one model. Some other models are showing that edge between no snow and snow moving up toward the north. That's why I'm including us in that chance for some of those light flurries around. And then it gets out of here pretty quickly. This is by 10 o'clock at night. Any snow is going to still be down to the south of us. And then on Wednesday, that frigid start Wednesday morning in the teens, but then we'll see plenty of sunshine during the day here on Wednesday. And we'll slowly begin that warm-up process where we expect our temperatures to get up to around potentially 38 degrees here on Wednesday afternoon, and then warming up even a little bit more as we head into the middle of the week with those temperatures that are going to be there in the 40s. So we've got the very cold air in place over us right now. It stays that way Tuesday, Wednesday, the slow warming begins. Still 38 degrees is still cold, but at least it's not as cold. And then the very cold air goes away. We stay cold here Thursday as well as on Friday. But then look at that, beginning to get a little milder heading into the weekend. We're talking about high temperatures into the weekend that look like they're going to be getting up to around into the 50s, low 50s on Saturday. And then it looks like we're going to be getting into the upper 50s here, low 50s Saturday, mid 50s here on Sunday. I want to show you the graph of the lows here first, and then I want to show you the high temperatures. Let me pull this up here for you. Here's a look at those lows. On Tuesday morning, we're around 20, and then 17 Wednesday morning. Then the morning lows stay cold, generally in the low to mid 20s for the end of the week and also into the weekend. Now let me show you the highs, and this is the trend that I think you're going to like seeing a little bit more here with these high temperatures that are going to start going up a little bit more. Still freezing Tuesday, above freezing Wednesday at 38, and then 41 Thursday, 45 Friday, 50 on Saturday, then most likely the mid 50s for a high temperature here on Sunday. Let me show you the model comparison as well of the snow chances. And again, as I've been telling you, the models are not in total agreement on that northern edge of the snow line. The American model shows it staying way to the south, where maybe not even some southern counties of the metro area would see any snow, and it keeps it to the south of us. But then the European model shows that line extending up a little bit more to the north. We're kind of going in between both of these models here. I do think it would be close to metro Atlanta and maybe on the north side. But again, we have to watch the models for those trends. Earlier they were trending south. Now the models are trying to push it back up to the north a little bit. So we of course have to watch everything with the system before we know what's going to happen with it. And it may be more tomorrow as it's happening, just watching that leading edge as it gets a little bit closer to us. So here is that 7-day outlook where we have those conditions showing on Tuesday, the weather impact alert all day, weather impact alert also on Wednesday morning with lows that'll be in the teens, the moisture at some point during the afternoon hours here on Tuesday, and then it'll be a quick moving system going through. But anything that does become slippery on the ground will stay on the ground into Wednesday morning. We do get up to 38 in the afternoon. Some melting should happen there. Back to the 20s Thursday with a high of 41. Then there's that warming trend, 45 Friday, 50 on Saturday, 55 Sunday, and then another round of moisture coming in on Monday. But look at these temperatures, a low of 38 and a high of 53. That would be all liquid variety of precip as that system moves on into our area. So a lot to watch with this. We're going to continue doing more updates for you throughout the nighttime hours tonight. We'll do another one at 9, and then at 10 o'clock we'll have our newscast here on 11 Alive Plus for the 11 o'clock hour. I'll do another extended weather discussion at around 11:30, 11:35, and then of course complete coverage all throughout the day tomorrow. So thanks for joining us right here on 11 Alive Plus. We will have more updates for you throughout the night tonight and tomorrow too.